Welcome to the Build Your Life Coaching Biz podcast, where you get to learn how to become a professional life coach and start an online coaching business from scratch. I'm your host, Krista Kathleen, a professional certified coach and spiritual business mentor. In 2016, I got divorced and left my full-time job as a registered nurse and decided to bravely answer my calling of becoming a life coach so I could help to change lives as I traveled around the world. And now I want to help you discover your purpose too. Having the freedom and flexibility to be your own boss and make as much money as you want right from your laptop will be one of the best gifts you ever give to yourself, your family, and the world. In these episodes, I'll give you real coaching combined with proven strategies and spiritual practices in order to help build your dream coaching business that feels perfect for you. Well, hello, my coaching friends. It has been a hot minute since I recorded an episode for here. And I just picked up some groceries at Aldi. So if you hear noises in the background, that's why I'm driving. Full disclosure, this is going to be a messy episode. I don't think this is going to be my best work today. And I'm okay with that because I feel like I've been so out of the loop with creating content lately for my business. Just so much life stuff has been going on in the background. I'm sure you all can relate to that. And I just need to get back into the forward motion of creating again. And I find that the more I put it off, because my perfection tendencies tend to take over, and I start making all these excuses like, oh, I don't have enough time, or I have to do my hair, I have to do my makeup, or I have to have this perfect, like, bulleted outline with all these great call to actions and aha moments. And like, when I start getting into that space, I stop creating. I start putting all this pressure on myself, and then I don't create content and I feel shitty and it feels awful. And I just want to show up messy and authentic and do what I love the most, which is sharing my truth and my message with you all on my platforms. And so, yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. I don't have a huge window of time today, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick up groceries. That's good enough. And it's just going to feel really good to get an episode up this week. So I'm sharing this because I know a lot of you are in the same place. And sometimes you just need to hear and see from someone else that's doing it really messy and really in the moment, and you're just working with what you have, to know that that's okay and to give yourself permission to do that. So that's what today is about. And just wanted to quickly let you know too about life updates. Well, first of all, that eclipse season with Mercury retrograde in April, holy cow, like, I feel like I'm still recovering from that. Like, I'm still trying to take deep energetic breaths from that time. Just so much came up, so much happened, so much growth, so much healing. Yeah, so that was a lot. And then I did my first insemination on 4/4, the portal. It did not take. So there was some disappointment, some loss, some grieving with that. My next insemination is scheduled at the end of June. I am trying to become a single mom by choice, and I have a sperm donor, an anonymous sperm donor that I'm using. So that's been a journey. And I'm also trying not to like talk about it too much or focus on it too much, because I find that when I do, I kind of start to spiral and get into that space of like, okay, this has to happen. And if it doesn't happen, then I'm going to freak out. And because I only have one more vial of sperm left and I'd have to purchase more. And they are, let's just say they are not cheap. So I'm just fully practicing and trusting that this will happen when it's meant to happen. And It's like a practice of setting intentions and surrendering at the same time, which is a really interesting combo. So there was that. And then I led my first retreat in Sedona, Arizona for my Born to Coach Training Academy students. And that was a really big deal for me. We're going to be talking more about that experience when I interview Yasmin, our most recent scholarship winner, well, from fall of 2023. And she attended the retreat, and we're going to be talking all about the retreat there. But yeah, I've always led retreats at my parents' house in Clearwater Beach, Florida, using their house as a retreat center. And so this was my first time like leading a big girl retreat, is like what it felt like, using an actual retreat center and doing it out of state in a city that in a place that I wasn't super familiar with. And it was so amazing. It was so beautiful. And I had so much more help and support this time from the retreat center. So I actually got to like be more with the students, be more present, play and participate. And it was so good. I just felt like it was the best retreat I've ever led. And I've led about like 7 of them now. So yeah, we'll talk more about that in a future episode. And then let's see. I went through a breakup last week, so I wasn't expecting that. I had been dating this guy long distance in Portland, Oregon for almost a year, and we meet up every couple months to hang out, connect, be intimate. And then we had this upcoming weekend. He was supposed to come visit me in St. Louis. We were going to spend a magical weekend together. I had been planning the weekend for months. And then he texted me last week, right before I was supposed to lead a group coaching call, like literally minutes before. And I see this text, and he was saying he was sorry. He's feeling called to not date anymore in this moment, and that he was not coming out to St. Louis anymore. So yeah, that was not fun. Still feels raw, still stings. And that's okay. I'm going to just let myself be in this space of hurting and processing. And I've really just been sitting with that and all the lessons that I took away from that relationship. There were some really beautiful ones. There were some hard, painful ones, as there always is at the end of a relationship. So, yeah. And then I just graduated my most recent Born to Coach Training Academy class. And so I'm in the process of grading all of their final performance evaluations right now, which is the last thing they need to complete before they can graduate and get their certificate. And then I also welcomed in 11 new students in April inside the Born to Coach Training Academy. So yeah, it's been a lot in like the best way possible. There's been some high highs and some low lows, and I'm just trying to regulate my nervous system through it all and keep showing up and running the academy and my team and serving my students and taking care of myself and my son Lincoln, and while trying to have another baby, no big deal, right? I'm like, I feel like I just need to like take a breath for a moment. Shall we all do that? Let's just all take a breath together. Okay. I had one of my coaching mentors do that on I graduated from a level 3 coach training program in March, and I'm working towards getting my MCC credentials. Oh yeah, add that onto the list. And we had a hard class, and he just was like, let's just breathe, right? Let's just all take a moment and breathe together. And it felt really nice. It felt really good. And I was not expecting this emotion to come up right now, but I'm just going to be with it because this is what vulnerability looks like, baby. This is it. This is showing up raw and authentic, which I know a lot of you want to. And we're always so scared to because we're afraid that we're going to get judged. And it's hard to show up with a really authentic heart and or authentic open heart. But I think it's also really important to do that. So this is what it looks like. This is what it sounds like. This is what it feels like to just be like, oh, it's just felt really hard and difficult, but also, like I said, really beautiful at the same time too. So yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for just being here for a moment with me, letting me take up space, letting me cry. Yeah. Okay, let me take a drink before we dive into our topic. Okay, so our topic for today, I wanted to talk about managing your energy as a coach. And I think that this is a really good topic for everything that I just brought up, because as you can see, there's a lot, right? There's a lot that can happen and come up in life when we are attempting to start our life coaching business or just continue running it if it's already launched. And then on top of it, when you're a new coach, it can be really hard to figure out how to properly manage your energy. And I have this topic and this request that comes up a lot for my students in coach training class. So that's why I wanted to talk about it today. And so this is my thoughts around this, is that when you're a new coach, everything's going to feel so unknown, so unfamiliar, and you're not going to know what your capacity is for how much you can hold space, for how many clients to work with, for how many coaching sessions you can do in a day. And everything is so new and you're learning so much, which is so exhausting and it takes up a lot of energy. So I would say that to go very realistic when you are taking on new clients or taking on new commitments when you're starting your coaching business and you're starting to work with clients. And so I hear a lot of coaches that'll be, ask them like, how many new clients do you want to take on? And they'll be like, I want to take on 10 new clients. And while that sounds really great in theory, is that realistic when you're a new coach and you're still learning your energetic boundaries and how much space you can really hold for others? And then on top of that, just getting all your systems and processes in place as well can take up a lot of time and energy. And then I'm sure you guys also have full-time commitments. You probably have kids and families to take care of, and you probably have a part-time or a full-time job. So that's just things to take in consideration as well. So I always recommend that to not do more than 2 coaching calls a day with clients. Because I remember in the beginning, I would do one 60-minute coaching call and I would be just so drained, so exhausted after that, because we don't realize how much energy we're using when we are holding space for others, when we are active listening, when we are being present. And these are some of the most beautiful gifts that you're going to give and you're going to share with your clients. And this is why I feel like we do need to charge well for our work, because it can take up a lot of brain power and energy to do this. And then I would also recommend to give yourself enough space in between client calls as well. Maybe when you're new, at least an hour to recover, to move your energy in between client sessions, something I heard this from one of our past students, Jacob Gaines. He shared this, and it's brilliant. And I always love to share it with others as well. That the best way to move your energy is through breath, sound, and movement. Okay, so breath, obviously would be breathing. So my coach, and this actually includes the breath and the sound, and my coach Jessica taught me this. It's the vagal breath, and it creates an oxytocin release, and it's really good for regulating your nervous system. And it sounds like this. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, I already feel better just after doing those 3 breaths. It sounds really weird. It sounds orgasmic. Maybe you don't want to do it with anybody else around, but it feels really, really good. So that's like a quick way to move your energy or movement. You can go outside, go for a walk, you can dance, you can do some yoga. But those are the best ways to move your energy, breath, movement, sound, in between client calls. And yeah, don't do it back to back. Don't end a client call and then literally like go right into the next one. Like, you need some time to go to the bathroom, drink a glass of water, get up, walk around, maybe take some notes or finish up a few things if you said you're going to share some resources with your client. Okay. And then maybe eventually, as you get more advanced at this, you can do more sessions in a day and go more back to back. Something I've started doing recently is making my client calls 50 minutes in length. And then that gives me a 10-minute window between them and then the next person if they would start on the top of the hour. I used to see a lot of coaches and therapists do that, and I never understood why. And then all of a sudden I got, and I was like, oh yeah, it's just like a natural little 10-minute window you can give yourself there. So yeah, really, really important to go slow in the beginning, because being new, being a beginner can feel exhausting. And then eventually you'll be able to like just do it all in your sleep. And I'm trying to think, what's the most client calls that I've done in one day? Maybe like six, 6 or 8. Like that's a long day. I would not recommend doing that, but there's just sometimes it works out that way. And especially when my students have to get like all their like observation calls and mentoring sessions in too. I'll put those in like in the mix with my client calls, and so that's why sometimes all that starts to add up. But yeah, what else? What else can we talk about with managing your energy as a new coach? Hmm. We talked about not taking on too many clients at once, spacing out your calls, how to manage your energy in between calls. And, we also talked about that in the beginning, that life can get messy, life can get unpredictable. And sometimes you think that you're going to have more energy than what you really do. And I was not expecting how much energy it was going to take to lead the retreat in Sedona and to help all my fall graduates graduate, and then going through the insemination process, and then just being a mom and taking care of my household and all the other things going on in a business. And so even though I've been doing this for 8 years, there's still things that I'm like, oh wow, I didn't think that that was going to take that much out of me energetically. Or even like with the breakup situation last week, I thought that maybe I was like stronger than that, that I could have seen a text like that and then just gone on to lead a coaching call after that, a group coaching call. But the reality was that I couldn't. I didn't have the headspace. I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the mental capacity. after finding out that information from someone I really cared about. And I gave myself grace, and I emailed everyone right away. And I was like, listen, this is the situation. I was in a relationship with this guy. He just broke up with me. We've been planning this trip together, and I can't stop crying right now. And I'm so sorry, and I'm going to have to reschedule. And it felt so humiliating to do that. It felt so unprofessional, but I also wanted to be in ethical integrity as well. And I didn't want to show up to lead something when I was not feeling capable in a space to lead at that moment. Now, if it was something different, if it was like something that I was attending to participate in and I didn't have to lead it, I would have showed up still in that space and would have asked for support on the call. But because I was leading the call, it just felt different. Because I always encourage my clients and my students that even if they're having a really rough day, they're having a hard time, if something unexpected happens, I always encourage them to still show up to our sessions, to the live calls, to practice being vulnerable, being in community, asking for support, letting us hold space for you. So that way you don't have to do it alone. And sometimes that can like initiate the healing process faster as well too. So I would have done that if I was just showing up onto like a call that maybe my coach was leading. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys today in terms of helping you to, start to manage your energy as a coach. Let me throw a question back at you is like, as you're a new coach. Oh, there's a little pigeon sitting on my car right now. That's funny. I wonder if it's like a spirit animal, or anytime I feel like animals interact with us, I'm always like, is it a spirit guide? Is it like my deceased aunt showing up? Is this animal trying to give me a message? What's going on right now? But it's sitting on the front of my car. Now I forgot what I was going to talk about. But okay, yeah. So yeah, we talked about managing your energy as a coach, and that I hope that you found this helpful. And I know this was a really messy episode, but like I said, I felt like I just needed to get something out there to get back in the forward motion of creating again. So yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next episode.
I'm so grateful that our paths have crossed at this time. And if you're ready to up-level your coaching skill set and learn how to confidently coach at the transformational PCC level in order to help your clients get bigger breakthroughs and better results, then join our Born to Coach Training Academy at buildyourlifecoachingbiz.com/certification.